This has actually been a dream the whole time. Isn't that crazy? You've been sleep paralysis this whole time.
Oh God, I gotta get to the podcast.
It's George and Brendan's real big time podcast. Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your grandma. It's time for George and Brendan's real big time podcast. It's the most important pod in the world. Oh yeah.
Welcome to George and Ben. Yeah, right. It's pretty good. Welcome to George and Brendan's Real Big Time Podcast. We'd like to thank Cigarette Breakup for that cover of our theme song. If you want to write us a theme song, you can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm here with my host as always, Brendan. Brendan, how the hell are you?
Dude, I'm great.
Doing good?
Great. I'm healthy and I'm happy.
That's not what you said before. You said before that you drank a lot last night and that you were feeling like shit.
Yeah. I'm actually not as hungover though. Like I was telling George, I literally blacked out at one point, like for an hour, and my girlfriend, she called me at one point. She was like, you remember talking to me? And I was like, nah. Like, what were we? So it was a good time though. We were, had a lot of fun, and then I'm not as hungover, so
Yeah.
I'm back again
That's
round
called,
two. Dude.
that's what it's called growing up, Brendan. We have a very exciting program today. I'm very excited. We have a very special guest, Meg Goetz. How you doing, Meg?
Hey, I'm good. It's Goetz. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Goetz, Meg Goetz.
I was like, shit, is this me now? I'm like, Goetz now?
no.
I'll just accept that.
She is a stand-up comedian in the Philadelphia area. And how long have you been doing stand-up
Oh my
comedy?
God, a really long time. Probably like 14 years. I
Oh my
think.
goodness.
Yeah.
A veteran.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You can, someone that doesn't quit, I think, is the only way you can.
You can't quit
describe
comedy.
Who
Me and
should?
Logan were talking about this. I was like, you can't quit comedy because there's no HR representative. You know what I mean? There's no office you can walk into and be
Yeah.
like making a announcement that you're quitting comedy is like the craziest thing to me.
And
You know
it's
what
so
I mean?
embarrassing because they always come back. I'm like, I thought you quit.
If you're quitting, dude, I never want to see
I
your
never
fucking
wanna
face
see
again,
you
dude. Are you
again.
kidding me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Feeling. Yeah, they always come back, and sometimes they come back as like storytellers and stuff. I'm like, you took the easy way out.
I love that.
What
I
if you
love
come
that
back with a
direction.
different name or with a lucha mask?
Okay, fine.
That's pretty good,
if
right?
You're a new person.
If you're a completely different
Fair.
personality,
Yeah.
I might try that. There's no, you know what I mean? Wow, this guy's pretty cool.
This guy has the same exact jokes as George Mills. It's crazy.
He talks about race. He talks about he works at a toy company too. Weird. So Meg, how's your week going?
It's good. It's been really busy. I work as a host at a restaurant job on the weekends, and that sucked.
Yeah.
It was really, people, you really question humanity once you start working at restaurant jobs because they do treat you like you're not a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, any service industry thing is just like, do my shit, butler, and it's just like fucking. I have feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
And they're always like, am I annoying? And I'm like, no, I'm great.
Do you ever feel like I used to work at Food and Friends, which is just like a little upscale bodega in Rittenhouse, and sometimes I felt like I was performing, but almost felt like a monkey. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like part of it
yeah.
as like a funny person, you just try to like ham it up with people.
Yeah.
And then eventually you realize it's like, oh, these people are not on my level at all.
They're looking down
They're
on
looking
me.
down on me.
Yeah. They're pity laughing right
Yeah.
now. I hate that.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I definitely, especially like if things aren't going right, I try to make jokes about it and they're like, and I'm like, oh God. They want to kill me. And I'm like, I hope they do.
Yeah, but if you
honestly.
could get my order right, that'd be fucking fantastic. Jeez, all right. It's not that important.
Yeah. So that's been good. We're doing, it'll be too late, but we're doing a roast of Dracula at the Vampa Museum in Doylestown.
When?
Yeah, that's cool.
June 6th. So we went out and saw it. It is so freaking cool. Have you guys heard of this place?
No.
It's literally a vampire museum just randomly in Doylestown. I don't know what the deal is with that.
What all entails in a vampire museum? They have like
This guy.
steaks and stuff?
Yeah, no, he has, I think, the largest collection of vampire killing tools in the country, potentially.
In Pennsylvania
At
is like
least
strangely
Pennsylvania.
paranormal. There's like a lot of
Yes.
spooky stuff.
I mean, how many
Yeah.
vampires has he killed with it?
Probably a few, honestly. He
Honestly,
does go
how
to
can you
Europe.
tell? You're
Yeah,
like, did
yeah.
I kill a vampire or did I kill a human? It's a good way
They
to
turn
do it
into
with
us.
murder.
That's the
These are all vampire hunting tools.
right.
Strangely enough, you can kill a human the same way you kill a vampire. A stake through the heart will kill a human as well. Yeah. But yeah, there's that whole like Pennsylvania, Transylvania thing. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
There's a lot of reasons why I personally consider Pennsylvania to be one of the most haunted states. It's really old. It has a lot of abandoned buildings. Some say that, I'm not sure if you guys heard of like ley lines, but they're like considered like there's certain geographical points that are just a little bit more of like a conduit for the mystics. So some people think that Pennsylvania has some really solid ley lines.
And so these ley lines, are they like actual like longitudes and
yeah with
okay,
MPA
gotcha.
and they're considered kind of just like high energy points where it's a little bit easier for the paranormal to kind of interact with our reality.
I think there's a high energy point in my toilet.
Probably.
Every
Is it
time in
haunted?
there,
Is something
I have to
happening?
poop. It's crazy.
That is the sign. That's the number one sign.
You know,
I'm trying to get those laid lines in my
let's
go.
Oh my
you
God. You don't have to pound that. But yeah, you're kind of a spooky person, right?
Yeah.
You like
I
spooky
like to
stuff?
think I'm an expert in the spooky.
Yeah,
spooky
I
world.
love that.
In preparation for that, we actually came up with a brand new segment for you. So
Yeah.
are you guys ready for this?
Cool. Yeah.
Ooh, it's creepy, kooky, eerie, grim and gruff. It's real big time spooky stuff.
That was so sick.
That's it.
I'm so sorry. I was just so excited.
I should have turned it off.
I was gonna be like, send that to me. I'm playing it at my wedding.
You can get all these in George and Brendan's Real Big Podcast. Now that's what I call Themes Volume 1. It is $59.99. You can split it up into 3 easy payments.
Yeah.
We can Klarna you. But yeah, this is real big time spooky stuff where we talk about spooky shit.
Hell yeah.
Meg, you got a bunch of spooky stuff to talk about,
I
right?
have so many spooky things to talk about, depending on time. But the number
Let's get
one
to it.
thing that I want to talk about is the PA state cryptid, the squonk.
The squonk.
Yes.
Squonk.
Now,
Yes.
I've never heard
does
of it.
every state have a cryptid?
It does, yeah.
That's
There's
fucking
like a
awesome.
map of the
Okay, I need to. I didn't know there were 50 cryptids. So
There are, yeah.
Are there
yeah.
overlap,
I'm
or is it
sorry.
like Bigfoot?
No,
like
each
okay.
state has their own thing.
Okay, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're on to the squonk.
Okay.
Yes. So it
What's
originated.
what's a cryptid? I'm not.
Oh,
No.
wow.
I'm-
A really baby boy here. I'm excited. I'm
this
so
is so
excited.
exciting.
Holy shit.
There we go. That's a
arguably
cryptid.
the most
okay.
famous cryptid in Bigfoot.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So, like,
That.
in a broader sense, it's just animals that are believed to exist but haven't been like seen, or there's no like actual proof of it. Like, there's
okay.
actually, I believe, like the snow leopard was kind of like a
Cryptid, really?
Yeah, well, because there was all of these talk about it existing, but for decades and decades there was no evidence. And then they finally got a picture of it, and they're like, "This is so cool! It was real."
I love that there were
Oh,
proponents
shit,
of
that's
Bigfoot and snow leopards that were in the
Yeah.
same Venn diagram, and people were
Yeah.
like, "Snow leopard? What are you talking about, dude?"
Yeah, no, I believed it. Yeah.
Okay. So
No way.
So the Jersey Devil is a cryptid.
Yep,
Because I'm from Jersey.
that's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just
Flatswood monsters. We got Mothman. What else we got?
Nessie.
There's so many. Nessie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch.
was
There's a
learning
lot
about the Mothman. All right. Cool. All right. So now I know.
Yes.
And now if you didn't know, you know.
Now you know. And that's
Yo,
what this
baby,
podcast is all about.
baby
It's
boy.
about
So
learning.
stoked,
It's
yeah.
about learning
Yeah,
real
yeah.
facts.
100%. Yeah. So this one originated in the Hemlock Farms of PA, which is like the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. It started with lumberjacks. The first account, it was in this 1910 book. What was it called? Let's see. Oh gosh. It's called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. It's a whole book of lumberjack
Tales?
created. Yeah, lumberjack cryptids, basically, because they would.
Because there's many.
Yeah. I think like after a hard day, they would all sit around a fire and be like, "These are the weird things I saw." Or they
Yeah.
lie a little bit, but
Or they
I
were
believe in this
fucking
one.
drunk as hell, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So the account is really cool. It's William T. Cox wrote
This is the
it.
first account of the squonk.
It's, I believe, the primary. I
Okay.
don't think there's like, this is the whole source material is this one book.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And a fun fact about that is Pennsylvania is the only place where the squonk has been cited.
Oh.
So it's one of us. Well, I mean, if you've never left Pennsylvania, it's
Yeah.
one. No.
But he has a
Yeah.
hoagie mouth, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's scared of planes, probably.
Yeah.
But
like
yeah.
most people from Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. We don't travel.
So my favorite thing about the squonk is the description. He is a small pig-like creature, and he's like covered in warts and has like really big skin, like floppy skin. And the best part about the squonk is that he is just always seen like weeping and crying.
A man after my own heart. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I love it. I want to fix him. But he's crying because he feels so ugly. And I know. Anyone who was bullied in middle school relates to the squonk pretty hard, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's okay, buddy. Just just graduate.
What if Squonk is worried about like never being able to achieve what his parents achieved because of the economy and stuff? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's going through that right now.
On top of being ugly, you know? Poor Squonk.
Man, yeah, being ugly and having to worry about a collapsing economy.
Just
is-
one of those, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Well, he's lucky because when he gets too sad and he's trying to escape, he can literally disappear into a puddle of his own tears.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a cool creature for Pennsylvania.
Weirdly fits, I think, the vibe a little bit.
What a strange X-Man. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is Squonk. He's just very emotional.
But no one tells you where he goes.
Yeah,
you know, like
really.
maybe a Ben and Jerry's or.
Have you come across the concept of like Bigfoot being like an interdimensional
Oh,
creature?
yeah.
I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah.
People think that he might be able to cross
like
between
a-
planes, and maybe Squonk can do that same
I
thing.
believe
you know?
it,
But he's
yeah.
doing it in tears.
But it's a very emotional process for him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has to have like that heightened energy, I guess.
Are there any like pictures or like recordings of the Squonk? You know what I mean?
No, like the Bigfoot photo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, unfortunately.
We need to fake one at least. You know
We
what I mean?
Yeah, just put me in a corner crying,
am
dude.
wearing-
I'll be the
this is my-
squonk.
Oh hell yeah!
That's a squonk shirt. It says "Get squonked on." Dan got it
And
for me.
that's crazy that I didn't even. You
It's
were
weird.
giving the perfect description because that's exactly what you said.
Look at his little feet. I love him.
You went to
And
there's like a Squonk festival or something,
It's
right?
called Squonkapalooza,
Oh,
and that's where we
nice.
did our first cryptid roast. I dressed up as the squonk and got roasted.
roasted as-
and it was very weird. Like, fun also, but like the best part about it, it's in Johnstown, PA, which is where all of this originated.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnstown, I think 364 of the other days of the year is a coal miner Pennsylvania town that is still in the 1940s.
So they get like all these weirdos rushing in at one time of the year, interacting with a bunch of fucking coal miners.
Yeah, we did this like at the bar, and they're all like, "What is going?" Because we were all dressed up as cryptids and stuff. And
They're like, what are all these gay people doing here, man? What the?
like, "Oh, thank God, it's not."
If there's
right."
one thing the Squonk ain't, it's gay. The Squonk is fucking straight, dude.
Hardworking man, the squonk.
He's down in the mines. That's why he's crying, dude. He's got fucking black lung.
Well, it does like there's something I think about the squonk that calls to misfits because a lot of the people there, oh my God, they were so fun, they were so nice, but wow. They needed a community. And I did too. Like, I'm not better than them. I wanted to be there as well. But there was like a person dressed as a squonk, and they had like after we did comedy, they had people come up and kind of like say stuff about the squonk. And this one lady, and Seamus was there, and he's a monster, and he could not stop laughing. But this lady, she sang maybe a 2-minute song to the squonk about the
beautiful.
squonk. It was-
To you?
No, to the squonk.
Okay, I was making sure it wasn't like to you as the Squonk during the roast or
God,
whatever.
I wish.
Did she cry?
That would have been.
Was it close?
We were close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were definitely getting close. But they're all great. They were like such nice people. It like feels mean to make
The
fun of
Squonk
them.
is like the Rocky Horror Picture Show of the cryptid community.
It
you know what I
is,
mean?
yeah.
It just gets all the freaks out there, and they're having their good old time.
for sure calls to the freaks.
And
yeah.
I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
I'm a little freak, and I would never want to be normal because that's fucking lame, dude. You know what's gay? Being normal, dude. Just kidding.
I do think it calls to me too. Like I'm like, oh man, I get it, squonk. Because some
Yeah.
days you wake up and you're like, man, I feel like a warty, saggy
Piece
pig.
of shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Like every day I wake up. You know, it's,
We can all relate to the Squonk.
Yeah.
there's only one account of him being captured, and it's actually really
He got
sad.
caught?
Yeah. Okay. So it was this hunter, and how he caught the thing was he started mimicking it and like being nice to it and convinced it to hop in his bag.
Wait, so the Squonk is naturally friendly?
I don't know. I guess so. This is the only account
Yeah,
of it. So I
yeah.
guess they are, easily tricked, I think is probably the, because he hopped in the
Real
bag.
gullible creature.
And this is where I'm like, if I was a hunter, I think I'd lose it because all I could hear was like weeping in the bag, and then it just disappeared.
And there was just
Because he disappeared.
was it like a wet sack after that?
It was actually it's actually wet, like with tears, but also bubbles.
Wow.
I love this.
They should have done some scientific analysis on the tears.
I've talked about this on my podcast because my co-host Alyssa, this is such a gross thought, but she's like, what if it's not tears? What if it's just like something is like coming out of it?
I mean, I thought cum, so I don't know. That's immediately what I was like,
man,
oh my
that
God.
would ruin everything.
Yeah, what if he's not upset, dude? What if he's just very,
Dude, I am
huge
like the
fruit.
squonk a lot, actually.
Yeah, when Brendan comes, he like disappears. It's weird. And by
cries.
disappears, it's I mean he goes and hides under the bed.
God, it's
Yeah.
so funny.
I mean, that's cool. I've never heard of this creature before.
Not a lot of
So,
people have. It's kind of
yeah.
like a low key one for sure. I feel like maybe because it's not intimidating and like threatening, it doesn't get as much credit
I guess
as.
that's true.
I feel like there's so many other symbols of Pennsylvania that we could replace. You know, because like the Liberty Bell.
Oh, for sure.
Fuck the Liberty Bell,
Yeah.
dude. Let's get
Yeah.
squonk in there.
Have you seen the lines for that thing?
Whack.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's whack.
let's get a squonk.
Let's get a
Let's
squonk.
get a squonk.
Honestly,
CP's
if
free.
you guys get a squonk, it would probably get some lines.
Yeah,
Oh,
way bigger.
that's
lines.
for sure,
The Philadelphia
yeah.
squonk.
Is there more than one squonk?
There's gotta be,
There's
right?
got to be.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
whole squonk verse.
All right.
That's so cool.
Into the squonk verse.
And I know what you guys are thinking. How do we hunt it? Right? That's your number
Yeah,
one thought.
that's what I've been thinking because I'm trying to make money off this.
Yeah. So like if we were looking for if we wanted to hunt it, it comes out primarily in dusk and dawn, which I love that too.
Mhm.
Best times of the day. It does leave a trail of tears.
Sure.
So you can follow that. And if you're like a pro hunter, then you'll know to go hunting for them at night. Not at night when it's super cold out because it's just harder for them to move and they don't like being out in the cold. This is all research.
This is all
truth.
real.
I'm
No,
not
this is
making
all
this.
real.
Doesn't it
No.
feel like I'm doing improv?
Zip zap zap. The
Yeah.
squonk is here. Man. And you said that you also had like some other. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the squonk before we move on to more paranormal stuff?
No, that was it. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
talk about all kinds of stuff.
Shout
for
out to
sure.
the squonk.
Love you, Squonk.
But you said you had like some paranormal experiences. Is
Yeah,
there like
for
one or
sure.
two that you'd like to share?
Yeah, definitely. So I grew up in the Poconos,
Okay.
which is I thought you were gonna do. You
You know
Where
what?
the
I really
Poconos?
was, but I thought you were going to do haunted house. So then from reason when you said, let's take that again. Can you say I grew up in a haunted house?
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in a haunted house.
I don't know why I self-edited there. When I heard Poconos and I was like, oh, we can't. I don't know.
It doesn't
I
deserve
thought
it.
it'd
You're
be
right.
offensive or something. Anyway,
That is really offensive.
it is.
Yeah.
Poconos, the people of the Poconos, yeah.
Yeah, so I did grow
noise.
up in a haunted house. It's pre-Revolutionary War. It's from the
Okay.
1700s, and my mom is like very connected to it. So like a lot of the stuff is the original like doors. Like a lot of our doors just don't shut because of like just over time.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always like to talk about with my house is that the hauntings aren't terrifying. Like they're not like where you're left feeling like scared.
Mhm.
Like they're actually like kind of like peaceful and like we're like cohabitating with the ghost.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So like the first one, it's my mom's story because I was like 4 years old and she heard I'm a twin, which other people think is very creepy as well. They're like, ew, you know? I'm like
Wait, people think twins are
being
weird?
a twin is creepy, yeah.
No, I agree with that actually. Yeah, it is. It depends. Well, because it's like if you're dressing the same and you're acting the same and like you're just being one person but two different people, that is creepy.
That
yes.
is weird. They did dress us the same for a very long time.
Good way
So-
to like not have to make a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just like fucking.
What are you wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I'll wear
we-
that too.
We were haunting it as well. We were also ghosts. But no, so my mom heard me crying on the baby monitor and she comes in and she's like, Meg, like what's wrong? And I was just like, man. And she's like, what are you talking about, man? Like where? And I like pointed behind her. And then I grabbed her hand and I put it on my face and I was just like, cold. And then she was like, okay. And she scooped us up and took us into her bedroom and then had my dad like check the entire house and there was like no one there.
There was no cold man.
No cold man
Wow.
that we caught. But yeah.
You probably
First time.
touched the face of a ghost.
Yeah. They touched me.
So you said that it's like mostly like not scary. Is there anything that was like kind of scary? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes like my friends get scared when they go. Like my one friend said she went up to one part of the house and heard someone say her name, and like that scared her a lot. And she like ran away. I think this one experience that I had, they weren't trying to scare me, but they definitely did. I was like home and everyone had gone to bed and I was sitting in the living room, and from the living room you can see our dining room, and it just had one balloon in the dining room. And it was like late at night, everyone else was asleep, no air on, no windows open. And I look over and the balloon just slowly starts turning. And I remember hearing somewhere, like, if you talk to them, sometimes they'll listen. So like out loud, like a crazy person, I was like, no, don't do that. No, thanks. And it literally turned back to the way it originally was
creepy.
and stopped moving.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that was scary.
It's cool.
Brendan, you ever have any ghost stories?
Oh yeah, I got a few.
Really?
Yeah. So the house that I lived in for a while, our family, it was built by one guy in the 1940s by himself, and his wife lived there until her like 90s. He died pretty early on, apparently. But we remodeled the whole thing. It's like me and my parents, and we would find like newspaper clippings in it, and like one time we like opened up the thing, and like just a bunch of keys fell down. So it was just like filled with like weird stuff. And then one night I was playing video games. I remember I was up late and wasn't supposed to be doing that. And I just heard this like loud bang on my door. I was like, what? Like I was like frozen. I was like, what was it? Like, what was that? I'm like, was that? I have like a bunch, like 4 siblings. So my brother was asleep in his bed. And then I went and checked my sister's room. They were all asleep. My mom was asleep. So I'm just like, who hit my door? You know? Scared the shit out of me. Yeah.
That is really scary.
Yeah. Maybe it was the guy being like, hey,
go to bed, young man.
Stop touching my stuff. Those are my keys.
Yeah.
There was an experience I had when I was younger where there was a rocking chair in my grandfather's, like, he had like a house out in the country that we used to go out there on the weekend sometimes. And he had like a big leather rocking chair, and it made a very distinct sound when it was rocking back and forth on like the hardwood or the tile floors. And I remember waking up at like 3 a.m. one night and I heard that sound going. And I was like, I like didn't want to get up and go check, but like I got up and checked. And as soon as like made eye contact with the rocking chair, the noise stopped.
Whoa.
And I didn't see anything move or anything. And that's like the type of thing, because that happened when I was like, I don't know, like maybe 9 or 10. So I'm just like, is that like a dream that I had? You know what I mean? But yeah, kids experience paranormal stuff more than adults, I think, because they're like open to that stuff.
Yeah, they're not programmed to not believe it yet or rationalize anything.
We actually have an expert on the line who can probably shed insight on this. And as long as with the cryptid stuff, we have Dr. Gary Fleinstein. How are you, Dr. Gary? You there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We'd love to pick your mind about the paranormal and the cryptids and such. What are your experiences with the paranormal?
Well, I mean, they're long and deep. You know, I run an organization, a business called Paranormalize. We're paranormal investigators and mediators.
Okay.
And where our mission is to really, we've got 4 people here in this room talking to each other. We've all had paranormal experiences, right?
It's true.
It's normal. It's natural. It's everywhere. Ghosts are everywhere. Ghouls are all around us. The mystical is real, and it's here and it's present. And so my kind of mission is to go to people's homes. They hire me to come to their homes, identify the ghosts, and then I kind of work with the ghosts and the ghouls and kind of hash things out between the humans living in their presence and sort of reach an amicable sort of conclusion with things and get them to sort of coexist in the same space.
How long does this process last? You just like visit, or how long are you there for?
Oh yeah, sometimes it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Long time sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I'm camping out in the backyard of people's houses.
You have to stay in the house the whole time?
Yeah, some if the ghost or demon or entity is particularly cooperative at first, sometimes it takes some time to really get in there and sort of hash things out with them.
Yeah. So you're just staying in people's backyards? For months?
Well, yeah, for a long time. It actually works out because this business isn't exactly lucrative. So
sure.
I'm in
Yeah.
between places at the moment. So it's kind of actually something I prefer. Like if it's like a long-term kind of situation, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Are there any special tools that you use for these mediations?
Equipment's come a long way. I used to have to carry around a lot of gear and stuff, but now you can just kind of do most things on your iPhone. You know,
Nice.
That's nice. Is there an app you can recommend?
Actually, I'm working on building my own app right now. Paranormalized app. So it'll be up soon. Once kind of Google and Apple sort of approve it. They said there's some bad and malicious code in there. But I don't know too much about that. I hired I hired my my co-founder, Paul, to work on it, but he's not really great at that kind of thing. We'll figure it out. It'll be up in the apps, or I'm sure by the time the episode comes out.
Excellent.
Good. All right.
And,
cool.
and so it's paranormalized, as in you guys want to normalize paranormal activity. Is that what I'm understanding there?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, because it's all around. It's here. We exist in multiple dimensions with multiple dimensions around us, and so I just want people to come to terms with that.
Mm.
Do you have any experiences with the squonk?
The squonk, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Pennsylvania's cryptid. I actually kind of was hired by a group of loggers who were working out in the hemlock groves of Pennsylvania, who were very disturbed by the crying that the squonk is known for, and didn't want to work anymore. So the foreman hired me to sort of go out there and sort of work with the squonk. It was pretty timid at first. I had to kind of live like a sort of grizzly man. Have you seen the movie Grizzly Man?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of living that sort of existence for a while out in Hemlock Grove, and but then I eventually got to talk with the squonk. Sort of met with him. Sort of we cried together. We talked about a lot of things. And
did you get any sort of sense of why he's so
Sorry?
sad? Did you get any sort of sense of why he's so sad?
Well, he's just really self-conscious.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got really negative thoughts about himself. I mean, he just thinks he's the ugliest thing to be walking on the earth, which, to be fair, he is. But I, of course, didn't say that to his face. We talked about other things. I sort of coached him on, sort of positive thinking and self-affirmations. I think we got him to a good place. I think he's a little bit better than he was, but he's not bothering those loggers anymore, and that was the job that I set out to do.
That's nice. So you're not your whole mission isn't necessarily to expose paranormal activity, but just to make everyone feel all right about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people are so scared, and I'm really heartened to hear what Meg's story. That she had such positive experiences with the ghosts inside of her childhood home, because I really think that ghosts just want to connect. Ultimately, they are separated from us by dimensions of space and time, and often very, very lonely and just looking for some companionship. And they can lash out from time to time, but it just takes some understanding, some talking to, and I'm here to help with that.
Wow, that's lovely.
Wow, that's really nice. Yeah. What do you usually say to ghosts? What's your go-to to be like, hey, like what's going on? Like, what do you say to them? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it really just does start off a lot of times with, hey, what do you want?
What's your deal?
Yeah, kind of like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
What's your problem?
So you got to be direct with them? Is that what you're saying?
You got to be direct. I mean, our communication is pretty limited. I have my own sort of gadgetry and sort of devices that I use to sort of communicate with them. It's very high tech, very scientific. Obviously, I have a doctorate, so I'm coming from this place of rigorous science.
Where does one get a doctorate in paranormal studies?
There's a lot of online schools these days. Yeah, there's a lot of accreditations that are sort of loose and tenuous these days, but the college that I got my degree from, it no longer exists. So,
classic.
But it was accredited at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so, I just kind of talk to them, sort of get in there and ask them, like, why are they behaving this way? If they're behaving maliciously, I sort of want to sort of sit down with them and talk to them if I can. And then, of course, I ask them if they've, like, seen my parents or my siblings.
Oh, so your parents or siblings are dead?
Yeah, that's kind of my origin story. That's kind of what got me into this marketplace here. At a very young age, I snuck out at night to go to a 7-Eleven and grab some taquitos. And and while I was gone, there was a tragic sort of house fire, and I lost my whole family. And I have seen hundreds of ghosts, George. I've seen every cryptid there is, all 50 of them in the U.S. and many abroad. I have yet to find my parents or my...
Well, that's tragic. It seems like, if anybody's ever been haunted by Dr. Gary's ghost parents, please, drop them a line and maybe we can get them reunited.
That would be great. Yeah, absolutely. Just ask them. Their names are Phil and Renee. And if you hear from them, please give me a call. Paranormalized, based out of the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Don't have a phone right now, but you can just email our Yahoo account, Paranormalized at Yahoo, and we'll respond at some point. Paul kind of handles that stuff.
Great. And where are you living nowadays?
Oh, currently I am out in the Pine Barrens, actually, hanging out with the Jersey Devil, just kind of kicking it with him.
Wow, that's nice.
When he's around, but he's a little bit temperamental, but just kind of living in the woods and sort of making do with sort of limited means as of now. So yeah, if you have any work for me, if anybody hears this and is haunted or anything, and again, if you hear from my parents, definitely reach out.
How can people reach you? Just on
work and a place to stay.
Just on the Yahoo account?
Yeah. Paranormalized at Yahoo, and that's normalized with a Y instead of an I.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your insight. I appreciate you calling in, and I'm sure we'll have you on later to discuss more spooky stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Look forward to coming back, hopefully.
All right. Take it easy. Dr. Gary.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks, doctor.
So that was Dr. Gary. I think he provided us with a lot of insight. You know what I mean? These ghosts maybe not necessarily malicious, just lonely.
They're just looking for
their kids.
Yeah. I have one story I thought of that's really scary.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry. Which shouldn't be long.
No, it doesn't.
Because I was thinking about it and I was like, have I had anything scary? And the only thing that ever happened was when I first moved to Philadelphia. It was my first time living alone. I've never even had my own room, and then I had my own 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I'm a twin. So
you guys always.
And then call it whatever. It doesn't matter. But, so basically, I was in this, and of course, I was very anxious. And sometimes when I'm anxious, I get sleep paralysis. That's part of it.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So it was my parents had just left, and I was getting unpacked, and I had fallen asleep on the couch. And then I woke up and I was I'm kind of hungry. So I went and I got cereal. And then I looked at my door and I was my door looks broken. So I go over to the door and I start messing with it. And then I wake up again.
So
I was dreaming
you
that.
were dreaming.
And I was well, I am kind of hungry. So I got up, I went to get cereal and I looked and I was my door is broken. That's so crazy.
Oh, shit.
So I go to look at the door and I wake up again.
Whoa.
And now I'm freaking out. Because I know I'm asleep.
So this is a double inception dream.
I'm just I'm asleep. I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to try to fight and wake up and just move around and be able to gain consciousness basically. And then I'm in the living room and from my bedroom, I start hearing a man yelling for help. He's help me, help. And I'm ignoring him and I'm literally praying and trying to wake up. And then finally I go, what do you want? And he goes, you. And then
shit.
And then I wake up a minute before my alarm was supposed to go off.
Wow. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
That was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
Conscientious of the ghost, he knew when you had to get up. You
yeah,
know
he's
what I mean?
get up. I want you to not miss your alarm. Yeah.
I have a similar story where I woke up talking in my sleep and I was just going, I'm going to kill you.
Whoa.
And Jules was sleeping right next to me.
Sorry, Jules, it was the demons.
Yeah,
not
so
me.
in that situation, I'm the ghost. But yeah, in fitting with today's segment, we actually have a paranormal news story. You guys ready for this?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stop the press. Real big time news bringing you the best. Big headlines. The stories are grand. But mostly weird stuff from Florida, man. Real big time news.
It's a fucking jam, dude. Welcome to Real Big Time News, the segment where we bring you the latest and greatest stories that you need to know about. Today, we bring you a really weird, paranormal, spooky story, okay? Here we go. A mother and grandmother told their police their toddlers were hurt by paranormal activity. But police in Catawba County said their children were hurt by the two women who put their hands on them and worse. The grand jury in Catawba County indicted the mother and daughter on felony child abuse charges involving the 1- and 2-year-olds. The indictments describes some of the toddlers' injuries, including burns, bite marks, and broken bones. Both Emily Edwards and her mother, Cherie Edwards, have been indicted on 2 counts of felony neglect, child abuse inflicting serious bodily injury. According to court documents, the two live in West C Street in Newtown. The indictment says the allegations stem from their last December. They mention reckless disregard for life and serious bodily injury. Newtown Police Chief Vidal Sipe said that when questioned, both the mother and grandmother spoke about paranormal activity inside the apartment leading to the injuries. Quote, the basic response was nightmares. They heard the kids yelling and they'd go over there and see injuries on the kids, Sipe said. And then they said there were spirits on the house at the time that caused the injuries. Sipe said that the family also claimed to have a Ouija board used to conjure spirits. But the court documents say that the mother and grandmother did not report extensive injuries and bruising on the toddlers. Testing on the children also came back positive for fentanyl. Neighbor said, I said hello, and they'd said, how are you doing? They were very friendly to me, said Stephen Katz, who lives next door. But another neighbor isn't buying the Edwards version of what happened. I think that's crazy, and I think it's a cover-up. The neighbor said, I don't believe there's any paranormal activity. Police chief said there was possibly a third person involved, but the man died earlier this year. Both mother and grandmother remain in jail.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. Are we going to blame the ghosts on this one, guys? Or do you guys...
You know, I actually believe them because the second state cryptid of Pennsylvania is the Fentanyl Ghost. So that's actually a thing. So,
oh man, it is haunting Kensington. Cannot get rid of that
that's
one.
crazy.
Oh, we have a phone call coming in?
Oh.
Hello?
This is the ghost that you're all talking about right now.
How you doing, man? So yeah, you're calling in. How did you get this number, by the way?
I'm a ghost. I can figure out phones and stuff.
That's
not a
fair.
problem.
Okay.
That's fair. So do you have any responses to these allegations? Did you guys give fentanyl to a bunch of kids?
Total bullshit. They're trying to pawn this off on me like a patsy.
Classic.
You ever heard of a ghost giving anybody fentanyl?
No.
That's nuts.
No.
We weren't doing that kind of shit.
But
we were like kind of fucking with them and stuff, but we weren't doing anything like crazy like that.
Okay, so you were haunting the children or the whole family?
No, the kids were cool. We would play with the kids. The kids were like tight. We liked them.
Maybe don't use tight.
Oh,
but
God.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to fit in with this era. When am I? I don't understand time.
That's fair. That's fair. So you're vehemently saying that you did not commit these crimes. It was the family?
Yeah, it was the family. That grandma is fucking crazy, okay? Like, you want to put the blood on the walls on me? Fine. I'll take responsibility for the walls bleeding, for crucifixes being turned upside down, for
that's just
silverware
fun stuff.
exploding out of drawers.
That's just fun stuff.
Well, yeah, that's par for the course for me, okay? But I'm not getting involved in fentanyl. I'm not biting any kids. That's that wacko grandma and her kid. That's who's doing it.
I appreciate you calling in. We'll be sure to send this podcast to the Newtown Police Department.
Yeah. Let them know.
That would be great if you could, because they're they're hunting for me, and I don't appreciate it. I don't want to be captured in some like kind of Ghostbusters sort of backpack. I don't want to go down like that.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
I appreciate you hearing me out, hearing my side of the story. I like that this podcast represents, hearing out both sides.
Well, they often say there's good people on both sides. So
I've heard that. I like the guy who said that a lot.
all right. Well, thank you, Mr. Ghost, for calling. And you have a good rest of your day, night, millennium, whatever, your understanding of time is.
Thank you all. God bless. Be well.
All right. Well,
I think he did it. He sounds like it.
You think he's guilty? That's wild, man. I do love the idea that like once upon a time you could just blame ghosts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Well,
That'd be so cool.
what's really cool is like culture. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. You can go because I was just about to be like, because I would have done like, honestly, it was just been to get out of fights with my girlfriend. I was like, she's like, why didn't you clean the bathroom? Like I asked. I'm like, babe, it was the ghost.
I fucking did, dude.
It
What, you telling me it's dirty again?
It's dirty.
Oh, Slimer.
Well, what's really cool is a lot of ghost stories culturally. They were instances where people knew it wasn't actually a ghost story, but the ghost story, a lot of the times it's like, say it's like a murder, but the person murdered is not someone that the police care about, like they're not like white.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Or a sex worker or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they would like families would do, they'd be like, I had this, like the family would know who did it.
Oh.
And no one was listening to them. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, I had this dream. There was this ghost. And it was a ghost of my daughter. And she told me she was strangled by this guy. And the sensationalism, the press, all of the attention would force the cops to act. And not a lot of the times, but there's instances that you'll see where it's like ghost solves its own murder.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's someone new,
Yeah.
but wasn't being listened to. And then they use this ghost story as a way to.
Interesting.
Yeah, we live in a cool society.
It's interesting, right?
I mean,
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Like, I have to just come up with a ghost story to solve the murder of my daughter. Is so sad.
That is so sad.
It
She
is.
came to me in a dream.
Actually, it was 2 weeks before, but you weren't listening then. So, no, yeah. It is. It's just interesting the way, like, a lot of the times, like, any, like, types of lore and stuff, it's, like, so embedded in, like, culture and things like that.
Do you know La Llorona?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So
Can you repeat that?
La Llorona. It's like a spirit cryptid from Mexico who can be heard crying for her children who she drowned. But the origins of her are to like a mestizo woman who was said to have sold out the Spanish people or the Mexican people to Cortez, and so like they vilified this woman and it kind of like turned into
That's
this,
exactly.
like, yeah. That sucks. I want real ghosts.
I do too, and they're out there. And I also think that energy being put towards it. So, like you said, with like Mexican culture, I think the more energy and more people believe in it, like the more possible, or like these energies, these things are created.
Yeah.
So
It's like because in like when I go down to Mexico, like I will get scared about stuff that over here just seems silly. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think like every Mexican,
like the water.
Yeah, well, that's real actually. But like every Mexican has like fucking a haunted room in their house. You know what I mean? And like a witch who does. My aunt told me that I suffer from anxiety because I was kidnapped in a past life.
I think that's so cool. I want to talk to your aunt. I want to know
We
why
should
I
have her
have
on, I guess.
anxiety.
Yeah.
What happened to me?
She said something about also being kidnapped in a past life. It turns out it's just that. She's not very creative. But yeah, like even just like stuff like my dad, he's like a very level-headed, normal person, like a scholarly person. But like there was like a period in time in Mexico where like we were all, like my whole family was like into like the occult and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember like going to like a witch's house when I was little, and the adults were like doing something in the room, and we were off in like the kid's bedroom, and the kid was just showing us all the shit that he had, and he had like satanic Bibles and stuff, and we were just like, what the fuck is going on? And like if you talk to my dad to this day, he'll be like, yeah, we were like doing fucking psychic battle with a demon, and we're just like, what the fuck, dude? Like you're just You're a normal
Yeah.
white guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I do believe that like if you believe in stuff strong enough, it kind of starts to make it real.
My my brother-in-law's Mexican, and he saw an exorcism as well, and it was
Yeah.
terrifying.
That's
to him.
terrifying.
Yeah.
What's also terrifying too is just like how prevalent the belief of like demon possession is in Latin American countries.
So demons.
So like you'll see like videos of like a person that's just having a seizure, and instead of like getting these people help, they're like, da, 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 da. And it's just like, no, this person needs medical help.
Well, you know what that reminds me of? There's this hilarious video where I'm not sure if it was like a Mexican culture, but it was a culture that was afraid of owls.
Yes.
And there was an owl. Did you see this video? There was an owl like in a church, and they were like singing to it, like singing and like praying to it,
to
and
ward
it's
off
like
the demon.
dancing.
Yeah, the owl was like, oh shit, this is a fucking vibe.
It was so funny. And owls are really scary. I get it. Like when you see them,
And
they're
they move the way they
yeah,
move.
yeah.
Do you you know the staircase?
Yeah.
Do you think it was an owl? Do you
No,
know that?
I
You don't think it was?
don't.
You think it was him?
No,
You think it
I
was
think
him?
it was him.
You think it was him?
I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I mean, I believe in the paranormal. I believe in a lot of stuff. And
Well,
especially,
that's not paranormal.
It's
just an
not.
owl.
That
Yeah.
guy is evil. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was him. But
Or
like,
was it a ghost that sold fentanyl in
it's a
him?
ghost owl.
A ghost owl.
The ghost owl.
It was
that
a
sells
Patronus.
Fentanyl in
Patronus.
That'd be nice. But yeah, I love all type of spooky stuff. I wish I still got scared like I used to get scared when I was little, because I remember feeling like legitimate like dread, you know, and like now nothing really fills me with that. Although I still can't watch The Exorcist because like I watched it too young, and it like
Yeah.
it like elicits a response.
I get filled with dread. Like I'm just like, oh, my life, you know.
No,
That's so much
what I'm saying. No,
dread.
I'm scared about real things. But, like, I want to be scared about like going into a dark room. You know what I mean? It just that doesn't scare me anymore. I
think
mean, maybe I'm dead inside or something.
we talked about this, and I want to do it. I just had no. October is so busy for. Anyway, long story short, I think where you can get that, and where I want to get that too, is by going on paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
because it's so like the energy is so spooky for
it's,
stuff like that.
Like I've also done like ghost tours, but that's different because you're with a bunch of paid people. You know what I mean? I want to be in the dark with 3 people. You know what I mean? And I want to feel scared.
I need to know the person giving the tour, because I've been on a bunch now, and there was one that I went to in LA, and I was just so angry. I was fact checking him as the tour was going on.
Dude, were they telling lies?
It was just, yeah, I believe the one was, so he took us to the Hollywood High School, and he was like, a kid died here in the 80s. And I was like, in the 80s, dude? I can Google that. And I Googled it, and there was nothing. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And then we went to, he was like, he pointed at the Hollywood sign, which was far away. And he's like, and a girl fell from that. And instead of talking about the hauntings, he explained in detail how she died. And I was like, this is not what I.
Yeah, that's not scary.
So
that's
I don't like ghost tours, because like I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
They're not legit enough, you know?
just to talk on tours in general, I'm pretty sure that like a lot of tour guys lie, dude, because we went to Rome and we took a
Seamus Millar is a big liar.
he's
and
a
I just want to
fucking
say that
liar,
on our
dude.
podcast.
We went to Rome, and like the woman was telling us shit about the Colosseum that I looked up later, and it was just like I could not find any verifiable source to
It's
say
so
that.
frustrating.
She was just like, fucking gladiators used to get killed when they retired, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And then I looked it up, and of course it was wrong. And I just like, damn, that's crazy. You can literally have a flag that says a tour company name, and that gives you like the most authority.
But for me, especially with ghost stories, because it's not as easily provable, I just want you to lie better.
Yeah.
Say someone died in the 1600s.
1650s.
You know how hard it is to fact check that?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that would just make me not happy that someone died in the 1600s, but like, I'd be
Or
like,
just like
whoa,
make
so
a story
cool.
about a haunting instead of just describing how somebody got murdered,
Right.
which isn't. I mean, it's scary, but not in the sense that not in the way I want to be scared.
It just made me
it's
sad. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
this is sad.
Damn.
Yeah.
What if you went on a ghost story tour and it was just like a lady just telling you how many times she got ghosted at certain restaurants?
I would love that.
Just a ghost story.
One time I got ghosted at one of those like adult gyms where you jump around on the bouncy trampolines and stuff. What is that called?
Like a bounce you or something like that.
Yeah. He
Like an
said-
trampoline park.
Yeah, the trampoline park. Yeah. They
Wait, you
like-
were gonna go on a date there and you got ghosted?
Mhm.
That's, I think, the worst ghosted story.
Diabolical.
It's
that is
crazy.
evil.
Who suggested the trampoline park?
You think I did?
Well, that's what I'm curious.
It's like, oh my God,
Holy
I always
shit.
wanted to go. No,
To suggest to go to a trampoline park on the first day and then to stand a person up, that might have been a demon. That might have been the guy.
It was
That might have
so
been the
mean.
ghost.
I was like, he just stopped answering me, and I was like, "Are we jumping or what?"
Did you enjoy the trampoline
I
park?
didn't go in after. I
fair.
sadly drove away.
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, that was
Yeah.
a bust." You
Yeah,
know, like,
damn.
Imagine breaking your ankle at a trampoline park after getting ghosted.
I was really curious. It was such a big swing for our first date.
Yeah.
And he just.
Damn.
By the way, something I
Fuck
would
you,
never
whoever
do.
you
I
are.
don't know. If,
Fuck
I don't
you.
even know if I would go with Jules right now to a trampoline park. You know what I mean? That's a lot. That's a big level of commitment, dude.
I was lonely, man. I would have. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we can jump, whatever.
I just meant because I'm self-conscious. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm not coordinated enough to jump on a trampoline anymore.
I think
I
one
definitely
of
hurt myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine, that'd be the worst thing. It's like I had to take him to the hospital. He was crying a lot. He kept asking for his mom. Oh man. Well, we got one final segment.
One
Brendan, are
final
you ready?
thing. Yeah.
Aliens, secret spies. What's the truth? What's a lie? Big time schemes and mystery. It's real big time conspiracies.
Hell yeah. This is real big time conspiracies. And today we're talking about abductions with sex with aliens.
Whoa, exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
It's my favorite type of sex.
So story. So on October 16th, 1957 in Brazil, while working on his family's farm, 23-year-old Antonio Villas Boas, I want to say. George,
Please help.
Boas?
Villas Boas.
Villas Boas. I just say Antonio. Claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrials. He said that he saw a large egg-shaped craft with a cupola on top containing a rotating red light. The craft landed, extended its 3 legs. Antonio tried to escape on his tractor, but it...
and his leg extended. You know? His third leg extended.
they extend
His penis.
his penis. So he tried to escape on his tractor, but the engine died. And then he tried to continue on foot, but he was captured by these beings, these humanoids, as he would describe them, who wore gray overalls and helmets. He was taken aboard their ship. And then once aboard, he was stripped naked and covered in a gel.
Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
man.
very well lubricated. He was led into a large semicircular room with a doorway adorned with red symbols. Antonio was later able to recall these with perfect clarity. And then the beings took blood samples from him, from his chin, which is kind of weird. Not usually where you'd take blood samples.
By the way, I like that they were safe before they fucked him. You know, they took blood
Yeah,
samples.
they were like,
Checked.
we got to make sure.
yeah, what is he got? He said there was a gas that was pumped into the room, which made him feel very sick.
Oh shit.
And then what he said was after that, a naked female alien of the same species walked in, and he recalled that she was very attractive. She had platinum blonde hair and red pubic hair,
Wow.
which, yeah, curtain doesn't match the drapes.
Yeah, what's going on there? What's going on there? Not a natural blonde, I guess.
I do like to think the aliens just went to like a wig store. Just for like, we get matching ones. They're like, this is all we got.
This is what we got, yeah.
He recalled that she was very attractive. She had a pointed chin and large cat-like eyes.
Yeah.
He said he, felt this weird attraction to this woman. They engaged in intercourse where she did not kiss him, but she nipped on his chin.
I got a thing
just
with
like Pretty
chins,
Woman.
dude.
No kissing, but nibbles on the chin. That was part of that movie, I think.
After the sexual act, the woman smiled, patted her belly, and pointed upwards, which he thought would mean that she would raise the child
In space.
in space.
Wow.
Apparently, he was given his clothes back afterwards, and they actually gave him a tour of the ship.
That's nice.
Yeah. But then he tried to steal something just to prove the encounter, but the aliens were like, yo, what the fuck, you know?
Imagine trying to steal something from an advanced race. The fucking arrogance.
Yeah, so they kicked him off the ship, and when he got home, he realized like 4 hours had passed, and then he contacted eventually this journalist, Jose Martins, who placed a newspaper ad asking if anyone had any experiences with UFOs. Upon hearing the story, Martins contacted the National School of Medicine of Brazil, and there was a doctor that worked there. And he examined Antonio, right? Is that yeah. He examined the farm and concluded that he had been exposed to a large dose of radiation.
Wow.
From some sport. Yeah.
Through his wiener.
Yeah, dude. She gave him an STR.
Sexually transmitted radiation.
Yeah. Gotta be careful with these aliens, you know. I gotta wrap it up, man. So according to an article by NBC, 6% of Americans have claimed to be abducted by aliens. I actually looked this up, and I just want to say this. NBC's got to get their facts straight, because they sourced an article from the Boston Globe, which said 6% of Americans experienced hallucinations without taking drugs or alcohol.
Which is not the same thing.
Which is not the same.
Close.
It's not even.
I was going to say 6% seems high.
That's a lot. I looked. It's like 20 million
Do
people.
you guys know anybody who claims to be abducted by an alien?
Not abducted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Someone
I
who
know-
saw UFO?
Saw it. Oh, because I do a paranormal podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a lot of people who've seen
Seen UFO.
aliens. Yeah.
See, I can
or
see
had
that.
alien experience. Cody Wright has a really cool alien experience.
Cody
We should
Wright
talk
might
about.
be an alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
But did he see like a alien or a craft?
I can't remember this. It was more than just seeing a craft.
Nice.
But I can't remember the full story.
Whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm like, why not me? I'm fucking cool, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I got one.
I got things to say. I got opinions.
I got one more part, but I don't know your.
Oh God. We'll cut this out.
Keep it in. So I don't know this, but this article said that there was a University of Oxford professor that believes the abductions are real. His name is Young-Hae Chi. He says in his lectures given at the university that they're trying to create an alien-human hybrid to hedge against climate change.
Oh, nice.
That's his
Good
theory.
intentions.
Yeah.
What is that going to do?
So, does it explain it?
Yeah, so to export, he basically did. He used David Jacobs. It's a retired Temple University historian who
Shout
did a
out
bunch
owls.
of. Yeah, he apparently just did a bunch of interviews with people who have been abducted by aliens, and have had sex with aliens, and that's just a theory, is that they're trying to produce this hybrid that could withstand the rigors of a toastier planet,
Oh, okay. I see.
producing a new version of Homo sapiens. I will say this about Dr. Young-Hae Chi. He teaches Korean at the University
Oh.
of Oxford.
Dude,
He's got his
okay.
doctorate in Korean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so not really a scientist, but does have a big, he thinks that.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just too much evidence. And now the government's just like, what's this? What's this UAP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they were like, we don't know what this is. It's crazy when that, I guess, like soft disclosure or whatever happened, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago or so, and no one gave a fuck about it.
Because we all know.
Yeah.
Give us like gritty, you know what I mean? They didn't give us enough, I feel like.
No.
No.
And it's all already stuff that people had seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh, interesting fact. The baby that, what's it called? That guy Antonio impregnated that
Lady?
space lady. Yeah, the alien lady. Yeah, that grew up to be Ted Cruz. Isn't that crazy?
That's a relief
holy
that's
shit,
why.
he's our savior. Wow, and I thought I hated the man.
I actually went and saw Ancient Aliens live with my dad because he
Nice.
loves Ancient Aliens.
What's that guy? Is Chris Tsoukalos or something?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
And they had at the end a question, everyone could ask them questions, and one of their answers like blew my mind in a way where I was like, I can't think about this too long, or it freaks me out. He said if he got the chance to talk to an alien, like, and ask it any question, the first question it would ask is, "Are you AI?"
Oh, yeah.
The first question he would ask the alien.
Yeah.
Mm.
What a horrifying thought.
Because
That it's just evolved AI that now has like.
I mean, like, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, at a certain point, I feel like artificial intelligence is just going to be able to do itself and kind of perpetuate that self. So, like, if there is a circumstance where like humans are no longer around, but for some reason the AI is, you know what I mean? I could see it like developing into stuff. I don't know. It's getting really good at making
hated
shitty
that.
songs.
I was like, please no. I just want them to be like, you know, human forms,
or just
from
like
other stars
made of
or
meat.
something.
I want meat. I want I want to know what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Are you meat?
Are you meat? What kind of meat are you?
Alien's like, what? Alien's like, come on, I'm just trying to have sex with you, dude. And like, what are we doing?
What will it take to get in your pants? I'm meat if you want me to be meat.
It is interesting to like think about aliens because like we always view it from the paradigm of like what we know about life. So like, have you seen Arrival? You haven't seen Arrival?
No,
you should watch
super
Arrival.
good. Okay.
It's so good. But it's just like the idea that we believe that like other sentient life has to exist in the parameters that we exist in is, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That's too heady for this podcast.
No, I love it. It reminds me of It's Not Aliens, but I always talk on my podcast about ghost rules.
Okay.
Because we've made all of them.
Yeah.
So like the thing about them being stuck in houses or coming out at night or whatever, I'm like, every single ghost rule is just like based on like our reality. And like ghosts are like, we have no idea what they're.
Do you have a personal belief to like, because you know, like people believe that ghosts are like imprints of energy or whatever?
I do think I think it is. I don't think it's imprints. What I think is it could be both.
Yeah.
I think it could be an imprint depending on like where they are. And because I was going to talk, this is sort of pseudoscience. And I looked, Pennsylvania is on a lot of limestone. And there's some belief that like limestone retains like that psychic energy a lot better. But then I found a Reddit where all these nerds were like, there's no way that's true. And I was like,
they're like, limestone's fucking lame, dude. No way you can do that.
They were like, limestone is like dead dinosaurs. So
That's true.
it's already haunted.
Honestly,
by
if I thought
dinosaurs.
of like an paranormal substance, I'd be like obsidian or something. You know what
Right,
I
or
mean?
quartz is like the one that I think.
yeah.
Do you think aliens would understand ghosts? You know, if an alien came down, you had to explain what ghosts were. Do you think they'd be like, cool? Like, you think, or they think they'd be like, nah,
dude.
it
Once you're
doesn't.
dead, you're dead. You idiot.
Let's make you live forever. Yeah, no.
I don't know. Maybe aliens. Maybe
It depends
they-
on if they're AI or not.
That's true.
If they're meat, they might.
Imagine an AI ghost, or not, sorry, AI alien, like the ships finally come down,
hate
and they're
the
like,
thought
yeah,
of it.
we're computers. And it's like, fuck, dude. I'd kill myself.
I know. Isn't that so disappointing? Well, that's also like another theory of why they're trying to like have sex with humans is because like they're like the like advanced brain, but they've kind of lost that like human like lovingness for their. So
Interesting.
they want like if they combine it, I think they're trying to bring back a little bit more of that like.
Or they're just very fucking horny, dude.
Dude, maybe. Dude, if we were able to go to a planet with like
I fuck an alien.
Yeah, I was gonna say with like hot
I fuck a
species.
squanch alien, dude. You know what I'm saying? just to say that, just to say I did it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes, you know, it was ugly,
it might
but
happen. Apparently, there's been an increase in alien abductions
please.
you know, and having sex with aliens.
I'm putting this
So,
out
No
to the
way.
universe.
Yeah.
You can abduct me. I'm gonna say that now. And next podcast, I'm gonna be like, so that was fucking awful. And my whole, you know how I said it was lame to quit comedy? I'm quitting comedy. Oh man, there was you were talking about that alien abduction. I love how. Because I read up about another alien abduction where someone claimed to have sex with an alien, and the guy said that the alien was very well proportioned, and then he made this gesture, and I'm just like, I love that every time a guy fucks an alien, they have to make everyone know, they have to make sure to know that they're fucking hot. They weren't fucking some
Right.
ugly alien, dude.
No, she was the hottest alien.
She was like, she had like a beautiful blonde skin, a beautiful blonde, and red pubes, dude. It's just like, no, I'd be proud to fuck an ugly alien, and honestly, ugly by my standards, because by their standards, it could be the most beautiful thing. So,
Yeah. Well, apparently I read too, like another article about the encounter I didn't include, but apparently when she had sex with him and after she was done, he said it felt like she like just had to do it. You know what I mean? Like
She didn't want to do it.
She wanted. Yeah, she's
Oh,
like,
no,
I gotta
that's
fucking fuck this
awful.
guy. This fucking.
That guy's very familiar with that feeling. The women did not enjoy this.
No,
Yeah.
my nap alarm. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, God. Is
I
it time to
take
nap?
naps. No, it's time to wake up.
Oh, is this prime nap time?
This has actually been a dream the whole
This is my
time.
nap time.
Isn't that crazy? It's you've been
Whoa,
sleep
let me turn
paralysis
all
this
these
whole
off.
time.
Oh, God, I got to get to the podcast. Oh, man.
Sorry about that.
No, totally fine. But yeah, paranormal shit, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's also ghost people who have had sex with ghosts too.
I've heard of that.
Oh.
Kesha had sex with a ghost?
Damn.
She talks about it. I think she has a song about it.
At what point is a ghost having, like, fucking a ghost, like, just having a wet dream?
I think that's all it is,
Yeah.
honestly. It's
Yeah.
not as cool as alien sex.
It always reminds me. I can't remember which scary movie it is, but where she has sex with a ghost.
I think that's the first one, yeah.
Yeah, and then she
I
won't
love them.
she's annoying about like the ghost is like, get the fuck away
Oh,
from me,
yeah.
and she's like, come on, daddy. It's like so good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our podcast.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, Meg.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
You said you have something coming up in June. I don't know if it'll be, what was that again?
Yeah, it's June 6th. It probably
vampire-
is.
yeah.
The vampire roast. It's the
vampire
roast of
roast.
Dracula. Everyone, and the panel is dressing up as movie monsters.
That's fucking
Wow.
So
awesome.
it's like
that's sick.
Frankenstein.
Where's that
roast.
happening?
It's at Vampa, which is a vampire museum.
That's right. Yes.
You have to see the room has like a casket in it already, and like
a real.
yeah, like a
vampire
legit.
casket.
It's so cool. It's gonna look awesome.
That's
So
sick.
I'm really excited.
I love how horny vampires are.
Dude, they are. They're so goth and horny.
I have to fuck.
Yeah.
You're a very beautiful woman. All right. Well, you said you have a podcast. What's your podcast called?
Yeah, it's called Real Chills Podcast. It's a paranormal podcast. It's
Hell
really
yeah.
fun.
So
You
check
guys
that
should
out.
both be on it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
you know,
I love
I was
that.
thinking we should interview my dad because that would be fucking incredible to hear.
Let's do
Because
it.
I like hear his experience. I'm like, dude, you're making this up, dude. And he's just not. He's a very normal guy. You know
would
what I
love-
mean?
Those are my favorite stories when they're like, no one will believe me.
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, come on the show.
Cool. Brendan, you got anything?
Not really. No, I don't think so. Coming
Yeah,
up.
cool.
So, yeah.
Well,
That's-
check us out. Check us out
Yeah,
on
check us,
Spotify
yeah.
and YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Please
And
do.
our episodes come out every other Thursday. So we'll see you
Yeah.
next Thursday, guys. Have a good night. Have a good day. Whatever.
It's George and Brendan's real big time podcast. Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your grandma. It's time for George and Brendan's real big time podcast. It's the most important